Another episode of Salty's Egg Balls. Today I'll be recapping the Week 2's action of the XFL. It's been an interesting week in the XFL. It wasn't as dynamic as it was in Week 1, but it went off to a pretty good start last week. This week was a bit slow, but it started picking up a little bit. So the first game on Saturday was between the New York Guardians and the DC Defenders. Both teams come into this game 1-0. This game was being played at Audi Field. New York Guardians were absolutely horrendous. Were just bad. They didn't get anything going on offense. They didn't get anything going on defense. Matt McGloin is an awful quarterback. He has just not been playing well, and they've been shut out. It was an absolute whipping of 27-0 by the DC Defenders. And to be fair, Cardale Jones was absolutely amazing in that game. He was on point. He was very effective in the pocket when he was under pressure, having good chemistry with his wide receivers. And of course, one thing that people don't talk about is the DC Defenders' defense. Their defense is actually very, very good. And how they managed to actually blank out New York by not scoring any tries whatsoever. And credit to them. They were a really, really good team, all-round team. I think, to be fair, with DC now, on Saturday's game, you have to say that this is the team that you're probably favoured to get to the XFL Championship game eventually. I liked that performance, 27-0. I think this is a team that's just pretty much solid in all areas, like offense and defense and special teams, and it will be interesting to see how they do in Week 3. But the Guardians, I have to say, they're not gonna go anywhere with Matt McGloin. I'm just not convinced that he's going to be the quarterback for them to take them forward this season. Saturday evening's game was between Tampa Bay and Seattle. This was an interesting game. I think it was recorded as the highest attendance game of the XFL. 30,000 people filling up the stadium of CenturyLink Field in Seattle. The Vipers, who are coached by Mark Trestman, have just been poor in this game, to be honest. I don't know what it was about the Vipers. I have a feeling that Mark Trestman does not know who his quarterback is. So he's always swapping between Cornelius and he's swapping between Flowers. So there'll be one play where he puts Cornelius in the play, and there'll be the next one where he puts Flowers in the play. And then the minute where he puts Flowers in the game, Tampa Bay were on their 11-yard line, in their own 11-yard line. And then he literally throws it to a Seattle defensive end. Literally, he just throws it and he catches it and he just runs and scores a touchdown. How poor can you be throwing a ball like that? You're getting blitzed, okay? How could you not see that defensive end coming straight at you? And then when you do see him, you throw the ball straight at his hands. Really, really bad. Mark Trestman is, he does not have a quarterback in his team, quite frankly. And they have been really, really poor offensively, Tampa Bay. And what was shocking as well in that game also is when they went for the field goal. So they want to go for 3. They get the ball. The snapper fumbles the ball. Now, when was the last time you actually seen a snapper fumbling a ball when a kicker wants to kick it? It was just horrendous. It was talk about a bad day at the office. They had a bad day at the office last week, and they even had the worst one this week because their performance was absolutely just garbage. You know, I don't know who to blame. I think, is it the quality of players? Yeah, maybe it is the quality of players, and maybe a lot of it is down to Mark Trestman as well. But I mean, this, yeah, I mean, this is something that you just laugh at. I mean, you know, with the mistakes that they've been doing, it's just, you know, it's really, really bad. So basically, the standard football in this game was pretty poor. But I mean, all credit to Seattle. Seattle were very, very good in defense, and they managed to win the game 17-9. So, but yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay, they need to obviously they need to know who the quarterback is and stick to that, and also they need to probably hire a new snapper. I mean, like, you know, a new kick holder. Sorry. He just doesn't know how to hold the ball. I know, like, Century Field and Seattle and the Pacific Northwest, you know, it's very windy and it's raining. I mean, so is London, but it doesn't mean I have to, like, you know, fumble the ball. And all what my job is to only hold the ball for the kicker to kick it, you know. Right, Sunday afternoon game was between Dallas and LA. Now, this game was, I mean, it was pretty boring. I mean, 3/4 of the game was just bad. I mean, like, I thought, oh my God, this has been a really shocking week in the XFL. 3/4 of the game was just 3-all. I mean, it was just poor, really, really poor. No touchdowns were scored, but the minute the fourth quarter kicked in, both teams just literally, I don't know, they must have had like a can of Red Bull, and they decided to go and play some ball. And it turned out to be a very, very interesting game. You know, the LA defense forced 3 turnovers from, you know, over the Dallas Renegades. It's still going to get score on the scoreboard. And, you know, the fourth quarter lightened up, and then Dallas managed to score 3 touchdowns in the space of 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. LA came back, attempted to score another touchdown and got extra points. I think they opted for a 3-pointer try instead of the 1 point, and they still couldn't get it done. Dallas left with a impressive fourth quarter win against LA. The game ended 25-18 to Dallas, winning on the road in sunny California. But the best game of the week for me was the game between the St. Louis Battlehawks and the Houston Roughnecks, which was on Sunday night's game. Really, really interesting game. Tactically very good. Both teams were pretty good offensively and defensively. For me, the player of this game was definitely Walker, the quarterback for the Roughnecks, who has been absolutely solid. He threw for 3 touchdown passes, all of them to Cam Phillips, who I feel like him and Phillips have a really, really good connection. And there's quite a good understanding between the 2 players. You know, and every time, like, obviously, you know, Walker's in the pocket, Phillips always makes himself open. And he knows where the ball's going to go, wherever Phillips is going to throw it. Especially the first touchdown pass, which was in the first half, which he threw to Cam Phillips. The way he spiraled the ball, like, you know, like as if he was chucking like a tennis ball like that. And, you know, and how, like, obviously, you know, with Cam Phillips, if you watch the touchdown, he didn't see where the ball was, but he expected the ball to be there, and he went, and he was obviously getting covered by 2 defenders, and he managed to catch that ball and just catch it because he knew he was expecting the ball to come that way. So great understanding, great teamwork there, you know, from both of these players, from Walker and from Phillips. For me, I think Walker has been probably the player of the XFL for me so far. He has been really good. He's like a agile quarterback. I mean, he doesn't need the running game, so he can just like run out the pocket himself and give you the first down. He's very, very reliable. He's got quick feet. He reminds me he reminds me a little bit of a Russell Wilson-ish kind of player, you know. You know, he's got fast feet, very, very agile, and a good pass of the ball. And you know, and him and Phillips, I think Phillips is another solid wide receiver as well. So if there was one player I have to pick who is the player of the tournament, it would be Walker. On the other note, though, Jordan Thompson, the quarterback of St. Louis, is another decent quarterback as well. I feel like he's also pretty solid. And he's also got good chemistry with his wide receivers and stuff. As the next couple of weeks progresses, I think Jordan Thompson, every time I'm watching him play, he's improving as a quarterback. He's improving as a player, and even as a leader in that dressing room. Even though St. Louis lost 24-28 to Houston, I still feel that that the St. Louis Battlehawks are up there. You know, a challenge to try and be in the XFL championship. I wouldn't necessarily say they're better than DC Defenders, but I mean, certainly if there was a game between DC Defenders or a rematch between these two teams, you know, on the way to probably eventually the postseason, it'll probably just be as close as this game. So the game ended 24-28 to Houston, and I was very, very impressed how this game went, actually, because I thought that the Guardians and the DC game, the first game on Saturday afternoon, would be the game of the week, but it turned out to be this game, Houston and St. Louis. So overall, it's been a really, I would say it's been interesting weeks in the XFL. I just hope it picks up a little bit, because to be fair, the standard of quality of, I mean, some of the teams here has been pretty poor. I think maybe it was a pre-season camp. Maybe they didn't train enough together. They didn't have much time to kind of build a team. So I'm guessing that's why, you know, like Mark Trestman and, you know, have troubles finding out who their starting quarterback is and stuff. So it will take time, you know, maybe not necessarily this season, maybe the next season, where, you know, the players will start gelling and they might bring some more talent in, and it will take time. I mean, obviously this was a bit rushed because they managed to get all the players in before the start of the year, and you know, it takes you know, obviously the game of football is not that easy to quickly build a team and start winning. So but I'm hoping more of good games for next weekend. I'm just hoping it will pick up and we'll get more touchdowns and stuff, because the lack of, I feel like some of the teams here, they're just lacking motivation, lacking creativity. I just hope it picks up. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed last night's game, especially Houston and St. Louis game, and let's hope for more. So that's my thoughts of the XFL of week 2. I'll just, if you have any opinions about the XFL, about your thoughts about week 2, what do you think needs to improve? What was your favourite game? What was the difference you realised between the XFL and the NFL? Where can the XFL improve in order for them to make the game a bit more interesting, a bit more entertaining for us to watch? Leave your thoughts down below. Comment, like, subscribe. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I shall see you on the next one.